looking at 68 to take out a 4-0 win. 16 or 8, take your pick. 8 for Tops. Tops is found, and Niels van Zanten gets his first win since Monday morning. He gets the better of Charlie Martin by 4-0. It was a sluggish start to the contest, but Van Zanten found a bit of quality towards the end, and he races off that hockey. It is business-like for the Dutchman today. He gets the better of Charlie Martin by 4-0. Coming up after the break, it's Alex Small up against Neil Duff. He could go on and win the week. Of course he can. He's a 4-time weekly winner, but I do wonder when he's completed the 3 weeks here, how he's found playing 3 consecutive weeks here, because he's played 3 Group A's in the Champions Week, the double start, and this week. It's a lot of darts.
180. Alec, you require 164.
I'll be honest, I do the weekend for the women's series.
132.
And my arm feels like it's going to fall off after 2 days of play. I couldn't imagine 3 weeks.
Is that a nice guide? Yes, it is. Tops for the 120.
100.
Doesn't go, and so Small return to 32 to get the break back. Break back got 13 darter. Level we are, 1-1. I'd get the popcorn in for a late night here in Portsmouth.
Is that what you're getting in for us later?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes,
Neil, you require 96.
Double 18. This is for an 11 darter. He's not... Well, he is going to go for the double 9. I thought for a second that he may think about splitting with Alex Small all the way back on 206, but Duff decided to take it out. It's a 12 darter, and we go all the way. And so what can Alex Small make of his opportunity? Up to the madhouse.
No score.
And Neil Duff is going to get 3 in hand to win this contest.
Game shot.
Yeah, but only 1 required there for Neil Duff. Alex Small created great opportunity, especially in that last leg, but it does go the way of Duffman Neil Duff in an epic contest between the two, which sees him win 4 legs to 3. 88.46 average there for Small, and 89, just under a 90 for Neil Duff. But it's that double percentage, 4 from 11, 36% for Duff. That's what counts. Coming up next, Scott Marsh takes on Bradley Brooks.
Bradley, you require 52.
For a 4-1 win. It's been a good performance this from Brad. 2 in hand at Tops. Double 10. He's been so reliable on this week, and he's reliable on it again. And Bradley Brooks gets over the line. He gets the better of Scott Marsh by 4 legs to 1, and it means that the 3 players that have dropped out of Group A have picked up the wins in the opening 3 matches of the day. And this is how Bradley Brooks has done so. A 4-1 victory against Scott Marsh in one of the highest quality contests that we've seen today. An 89 average, despite missing 9 darts and a double. He gets the better of Scott Marsh. Coming up next, it is Niels van Zanten up against Alex Small. Like Gareth Southgate's starting 11, 4-3-3.
32.
First Football Reference.
Deals you require 101.
First ton plus checkout, tick. Triple 16, the location for dart 2. And double 18, the location for dart 3.
65.
But that cannot be found, and so Small will come back for the match. And he should get 2 in his hand at Tops. Will get 2 in his hand at Tops. But now, shuffles across for double 10. And buries the double 10. And buries Niels van Zanten. It's a thumping 4-0 win for Alex Small to get his first chalk on the board. A really good performance. A couple of really good performances. If he can sharpen up on the doubles, we have got a player who is going to be a real serious contender. Average just under 90. 4 from 16 on his doubles. This is a really good showing so far from Alex Small. Coming up after the break, it is Bradley Brooks in action. And he takes on Charlie Martin. Just like he missed a dart at Tops and 10s to not even be here this afternoon.
140.
And ironically, that was for a 4-1 win as well.
60. $180.
And there you see Charlie Martin's first 180. Back comes Brooks.
100.
Anything you can do.
Does this have to be best of 7? Can we extend it, please?
100.
The player that reaches 4 first will definitely say no.
Best of 7 sets. Come on now. Because Martin here is looking for an 11 darter
91.
potentially. And Bradley
Charlie,
Brooks has left himself
81.
on a finish after 9-2. Bullseye. Well, double 13 to take us all the way. Double 13 found a 12 darter, best of the match. And we go all the way to a deciding leg. Third time in this game he's left himself on the double after 12 darts. And Charlie Martin, a bit of a flyer there, the worst possible time. He's unable to do anything about the situation. He leaves
Bradley
himself on a finish just in
32.
case. But this for the match. And
Big
that's for
shot.
2
And the
wins
match,
from 2.
Bradley
It's the
Brooks.
second 13 darter of the game for Bradley Brooks in the decisive leg of the game. He gets the better of Charlie Martin by 4 legs to 3. And it means he is the first player on to 4 points in the group with the performance of the session so far. An average of 97.21. 3 maximums, 4 from 10 on his doubles. Charlie Martin, having lost his first 2 matches, finds himself in a little spot of bother. Coming up after the break, it is Neil Duff up against Scott Marsh. 12 for tops for the former Lakeside champion, who won his Lakeside title on that double and wins this game on that double. 14 darter to finish off a 4-0 win for Neil Duff, who is now on 4 points in the group. He and Bradley Brooks are the top 2 after 2 games, the only 2 players with an unblemished record. At the tail of the tape from that match, Neil with an average in excess of 90, 33% on the doubles. Round 3 begins after the break, and we're going to see Bradley Brooks in action. He could move on to 6 points if he gets the better of Niels van Zanten. Van Zanten has 6 here from 1-2-1 to bring it back to 2-1 and just keep Bradley thinking a little bit. Double 18, his favourite. Double 18 is found, and it's the first ton plus checkout of the day.
This goes low.
Bradley, you require 10.
To get over the line, it's been another proficient performance for Bradley Brooks. And a bit of a stutter in this leg. But it's a leg that he's won, and it's another game that he's won. It's 3 from 3 for Bradley Brooks. He gets the better of Niels van Zanten by 4 legs to 0. The average just going below the 90 mark, but I think he'll be pleased enough with the way that he's played over the first 3 games of his session. Van Zanten losing despite the higher average, but it was the timing that was so key and so crucial, and that is why Bam Bam has the points in his pocket. Coming up after the break, Alex Small and Scott Marsh. 50 after 9. Now, there's a commentator who sat in this commentary box that has hit a bullseye for a 10-dart leg. And
57.
Scott Marsh isn't on a finish.
You require 50.
Do you, Alec? No, he plays it safe. He plays the percentages, but now double 19 goes straight for it. He finds it and fires home his second win of the day, a 12 darter in the final leg to get the better of Scott Marsh by 4 legs to 1. He's playing really well. His highest average of the day, 90.37. He's playing in that 88, 89, 90 range, and he's incrementally getting better as the day goes along. Small 4, Marsh 1, Martin Duff after the break. Pick your target of choice. The target's double 16. The target is found, and Charlie Martin picks up his first win here at the Super Series. Frustrated Neil Duff trudges back down the Oki, having conceded his first match of the session. Charlie Martin wins by 4 legs to 3. That's how he's done so, and it means it is advantage Bradley Brooks in this league table. The only player of 100% record, and he is in action after the break against Alex Small, who's been mightily impressive in all 3 matches thus far.
So 105 here for Brooks to level the match. Single 5 for tops. The target has been very good for him, and we are at 2 apiece. And
Bradley, you require 57.
Yes, for a 4-2 win. He was 2-0 down in this contest, But he's won 4 on the spin, and he's ended with a 14 darter. And Bradley Brooks is 4 from 4. And Bam Bam is making quite serene passage of Group C thus far. He missed out on a spot in the evening session, but I think he'll be happy enough to be playing this afternoon so far. A 4-2 win against Alex Small. A ton plus checkout, a 14 darter in there. Decent enough scoring, exceptional finishing. Brooks is on to 8 points. Neil Duff can move to within a couple of points of the table topper if he can get the better of Niels van Zanten.
Neil, you require
So 110 for Duff to square this game up at 1-1 and to get the break back. Treble 18 gives him a dart at the subsequent double. Finds it. And Duff levels up at 1-1, and that's something he's so good at. 115 for a 2-1 lead, and Van Zanten looks like he's just hit a little bit of a wall here. Duff just going about his business his way, not being drawn into the contest.
60. Neil, you require 115.
Yeah, there are always options with this kind of finish. That leaves tops.
Game shot on
That's a great finish. That's the 115 to the 118 we saw earlier in the match.
You require 50.
10 for tops. Nice guide, bent the wire, and he fires home with dart 2, and Neil Duff gets the better of Niels van Zanten by 4 legs to 1, and so it means that he's going to set up a game against Bradley Brooks in a couple of matches time to see where the land lies in terms of the league table. The tail of the tape sees Neil Duff beat Niels van Zanten by 4 legs to 1. The Duff man, the former world champion, walks down the stage a victor, hitting 2 ton plus checkouts en route to that success. All in all, 4 from 9 on the doubles. A 4-1 victory for the Duff man. Coming up after the break, it is Scott Marsh against Charlie Martin.
4-0.
You require 155.
Treble 19. Double 19.
117.
Would have been a 9 immaculate way to have finished off the match.
But you can just see the difference in the body language, the positivity as he steps up to the oche.
95. Charlie, you require 38.
Convincing. From Charlie Martin, he finishes off a 13 darter, an average in excess of 91. He beats Scott Marsh by 4 legs to 0. It means that he's now on 4 points, and he's beginning to build a pursuit up the league table. That, the tail of the tape, really good performance that from Charlie Martin. He'll take on Alex Small in his last game. The winner of that one will be on to 6 points, but after the break, it's Neil Duff and Bradley Brooks. Brooks wins this, he completes the card. Duff wins that game, he'll be on 8 points, and them two will be tied at the top going into Friday's joustings.
All Neil Duff can do is just hope for a chance.
Double 10. And Bradley Brooks completes the card on the opening day of Group C. Bam Bam has hit some haymakers to the rest of the field. He had the disappointment of missing out on Group B yesterday, but as far as Group C is concerned, it's been perfect thus far. 5 from 5, 10 points to his name, a 4-point cushion guaranteed at the top of the table overnight. He is in very good stead to progress through to Saturday's finals. Even at this early stage of the group, he beats Neil Duff by 4 legs to 2. That breaker throw, courtesy of that 81 out on the ball, was the turning point of the contest. Brooks 4, Duff 2. Next up is Charlie Martin in action against Alex Small.
Chance to come back. 61 required here.
10 for double 16. Does not
29.
go, and so Charlie Martin has 3 more for the match.
32. Game shot.
Yeah, but only needs the one, and that is a victory for Charlie Martin, a 4-2 winner over Alex Small. That win sees Charlie Martin finish today on 6 points, Alex Small on 4 points. A very competitive tie between the two. Charlie Martin just under an 85 average, with Alex just over 80. 4 from 11 on the outer ring, 2 from 4 for Alex, but it is Charlie Martin who gets the victory. Well, do join us shortly for our last match, which is Van Zanten taking on Scott Marsh.
60.
For Desmond.
No score. Scott, you
There's
require
always an irony with that.
60.
If you've struggled throughout a match to find a treble 20, you know you're going to get it when you've got 60 left. But Marsh makes short, goes high and
Game shot
finds
on
the
four
double.
flag. Scott Marsh.
Goes 3-1 ahead. Is it there?
7.
But it's Van Zanten first for a 2-dart checkout. And 76 left.
There's a couple of trains of 4 here, and he goes double 18 for double top to bring it back to 3-2 and to restrict Scott Marsh the opportunity to win the game there and then. But he will have the darts here to see this game home.
One of the matches we said was quite difficult to call, and we know Van Zanten likes double 18.
Double 9. 1 left. And he may be left bereft because Scott Marsh comes back for 60 to win this game. Perfect dart. Tops. Double 10 to get his first win on the board. He finds double 10. And Scott Marsh gets the better of Niels Van Zanten by 4 legs to 2. And it means that he gets his first win on the board. He ends the day with a win in the battle between the bottom 2. A smile on the face of Scott Marsh. He beats Niels Van Zanten by 4 legs to 2. And that culminates and concludes our afternoon session here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where Bradley Brooks won 5 out of 5. There's a chasing pack on 6. And myself and Laura Turner will be assessing everything that we have seen in this afternoon session when we return after this short break. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we have completed the afternoon session here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Group C has come to a close, and I have Laura Turner alongside me, who has been watching all of the action in the commentary box. This is what we've seen on this Thursday afternoon, and it was an afternoon that was really dominated by Bradley Brooks. He'd won 5 out of 5 in that afternoon session, and you have to say that he's been very impressive.
Yeah, he has. To me, he's been the standout player. But when he's found himself in trouble, he hasn't panicked about it. He went 2-0 down against Alex Small, who was playing very, very well, but just remained calm, remained focused. And it was interesting when you spoke to him earlier, just the fact that he felt better today, he felt good, and it just transitioned onto the board. And yeah, he's a deserved winner of 5 games. Let's
talk about the real good bits. And in terms of his control of games as well, we were speaking to him in the studio a few moments ago, and it's that composure at key moments that maybe at times was lacking. He just felt far more settled today.
Yeah, and he's had a few days here, hasn't he? I mean, you see him take out the 105 against Alex Small in that match. Like I say, that was a real turning point. He taken out the 63 to make it 2-1 from 2-0 down, then backed it up with a 105, then completely ran away with it, held it all together in really key moments as well. We say all the time, it's about timing, but that really was for Bradley Brooks. And like I say, he feels like he deserves out of the field to be top of the table.
Neil Duff is his closest competitor as far as this group is concerned. 3 wins for 4. How do you think he'll overall assess upon today?
Yeah, I think, he's played very well. He's been unfortunate in the matches that he has lost. They've run pretty tight. However, Neil Duff, he wants to go out there and win absolutely everything. I'd say he's in his 3rd consecutive week here at the Super Series. He wants to get in to Saturday's finals, and now he's just got a bit more work to do by losing those couple of games.
Let's talk about Charlie Martin, because it was a slow start to the day. That first game didn't go to plan, I think that's fair to say. But since then, the way that he came back from that and he returned from that setback is very applaudable.
Yeah, 100%. It's difficult, when you're debuting here and you haven't quite played in this kind of atmosphere before, or in front of cameras, and it's quiet as well. It's very different to anywhere else we play. It takes some players, a little time to settle down, and we saw that with Charlie. But once he'd settled, we started to see some really good stuff for him, and I think he's on the opposite side to Neil, perhaps coming out with 6 points, but happy because he had those early losses.
Alex Small will feel as if the day looked as if after 3 games was going to go in a very good direction, but at the end of the day, he's probably going to feel as if there was points maybe left out there.
Yeah, kind of the opposite perhaps to Bradley. It was timing. He just missed at key moments, let his opposition in who took their chances against him. But I think he's played very well, especially compared to what he did when he came here last time. Didn't have a good first day. I think he had a much better first day today, played very, very consistently, but just didn't quite get all the results.
Niels van Zanten had that 1-2-1, had that magical moment, had that first win, but other than that, never really worked out for him today.
No, in his consistency for me, you can see that there's moments of greatness, as you say, but if you can't maintain them against players that of the caliber that we're seeing, then unfortunately it's just not going to pan out. I mean, there's the 1-2-1. That was to secure a 12-dart leg as well. So that's fantastic. If you can maintain anything around the kind of 15 darts, then you're going to be turning heads, but you just couldn't do it regularly enough.
Let's have a look at the table then. Following the end of the first day's play, Bradley Brooks leads the way, has a 4-point lead over Neil Duff and Charlie Martin overnight. Alex Small on 4, Niels van Zanten on 2, and Scott Marsh winning that final game of the session. Now, Bradley mentioned in that interview about what we're going to call the Scott Mitchell conundrum, where you win 5 games on the first day and don't go through. Bradley was involved last week. Okay, admittedly, he's in a different group. But the fact that he's aware of what happened to Scott last week, does that make you wiser in the mind and actually focuses you in a little bit more going into tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you're brave for coining it after Scott Mitchell, who's actually here tomorrow in comms. But when you've seen that happen to an opponent, then I think it just makes you more focused. I think he's hyper aware that five wins out of 5 on day one, you can't do any better. But it doesn't guarantee you're definitely going to make it, because it's only 2 that go through in this group. So, he needs to get a couple more early wins under his belt. Tough 2 opening games for him. But, for me, I think he's learned from other people's mistakes.
So tonight is all about Group B, and we're going to see the debut here at the Live Lounge for Gemma Hayter, who's been a real enigma in 2024, coming back to the sport after a bit of time away, and is taken to the women's series like a duck to water. Yeah,
I was going to say, as debuts go, if it's anything like the women's series for Gemma, then she's going to be absolutely fine here this evening. And really, I think she's another one of those players. It's very hard to pick 2 players that aren't going to go through out of that group. I think if Gemma can play at the levels that we've seen from her at the women's series, then she's going to be a bit of a challenge for everyone else.
We'll talk a little bit more about her this evening, but what are her key qualities and her key strengths?
I mean, her scoring power, and she's very, very. Once she gets into her range, scoring power. But she's, again, strong finishes, big finishes as well from her. But she just seems so at ease for someone that's been away from the sport for quite some time. She's very, very at ease, confident on the oche as well. So hopefully she just brings that into tonight. So we get to see kind of the full Gemma.
All that to look forward to later. Laura, thank you for now. See you a bit later on. We'll see you a little bit later on as well, 10 o'clock on the Super Series YouTube channel, to see how Group B gets underway and see how Gemma Hayter quits on debut.